All right, you picked the topic for today, so you go ahead. Start us out.
All right, I got the topic for you of the day is, should you leave your kids money when you die? If you have a bunch of money, you got, let's just start at $1 million, $10 million, doesn't matter. If you got $1 million, should you leave your kids that money?
Nuanced question, right? Not as simple as just like, hey, let's...
Definitely not. This is a full-on...
It's a complex one, right?
It's very, very complex. But, yeah, start with...
I'll start. Let's talk about the environment you and me grew up in, right? You and me weren't given any money by our parents. You and me both worked for what we have. We grew up with a bunch of rich, spoiled kids who were shitbags because they knew that mommy and daddy had money and would give them money eventually. And even now, a lot of them, like, as adults, like, let's say, like, the trust fund kids, you know, at a certain age, you're getting dropped 10 mil, or you're inheriting the estate, or you're inheriting this massive house that has tons of equity. And how many people do you know who literally just don't bother to do anything with their life, don't know the value of a dollar, don't know what a hard day's work is like, because they never had, they knew that they never had to worry about it, because they knew that they were going to get dropped a bunch of money. And so they're shitbags. Like, I could say, based on us growing up here, because it's like, it is a pretty wealthy, affluent place, that's a reality. Like, it's not as simple as like, should you leave them money? Like, yes, but how do you do it so that they don't end up rich, spoiled cunts?
Okay, so that's deeper. So the bottom line is, you shouldn't leave them money. Is that the first?
No.
Okay. So
that's why it's nuanced, right?
All right. So let's go back to this. So you just gave me a really good reason why you shouldn't leave them money.
Yeah, I know. Go for it though. Say it.
Okay. Well, that's good. So what would be a reason that you should leave them money or would leave them money?
You build a successful business, buy real estate, do something with your life, work hard for it. Who do you leave it to? What do you do with it, if not give it to your children?
Put it back into the community.
Give it, so like pure philanthropy, give it away to people.
Not give it away. As you know, that would be no different than giving it to your own kids. But give it back to the community. So basically what you should do, if I made a bunch of money in real estate, I got $10 million worth of properties. Towards the end, or maybe even after I'm gone, you liquidate all the properties, and that money goes into a fund where young entrepreneurs can go and borrow on that money, and they can start their real estate investing journey.
You leave your kids nothing?
You leave your kids nothing.
No. Okay, we fully disagree then. I think if at minimum, see, it's so hard not to create a shitbag child with them having the knowledge that they're gonna, I guess it is such a complicated issue. I think a lot of it has to do with how you raise your kid too, right? Well, like if I owned a house, which I don't, my parents have no money, right? Never did. If I owned a house, at minimum guaranteed, I would not hand my kids money. If I had a bunch of money, I would not just give them a trust. I would most definitely, if I owned a house, pass my house on to them so that they had shelter over their heads forever, no matter what.
Wouldn't the argument be that you should have taught them everything to have that shelter?
No. I mean, yes, you should, but I worked hard. If I had that, I worked hard to get it. If no one passed it on to me, and I worked hard to get it, I strived and, was smart and achieved that, really achieved it and worked for it. I think it does give your kids a bit of a sense of security. It does give them a little bit of advantage, maybe over other people. And I think if I had land or property, I think that's like, look back on like family land. Like Mexico is a good example. There's a lot of people where like you pass the land down through the family for generations and generations, and it holds like a real value.
So then what you're telling me is that
not just monetary value
is that you would hand down a house and land.
Yeah. But that's not money necessarily.
Okay. House and land.
Yeah.
One house, one piece of land.
Yeah.
And they can never sell it. All they can ever do is continue to give it down to the next generation.
Yes, and you can put that. There's specific scenarios. Like I don't know. I don't know the right word. Is it a trust or?
Yeah. Next question. How big of a house?
enough to live within your means, not a fucking mansion. Even if I had a bunch of money, I'm not going to go out and blow it on a mansion. I'm going to get a house. I'm just going to a roof over my. The point is a roof over their head, so they never have to worry about being homeless or not having a place to live if shit hits the fan. Or let's say shit hits the fucking fan, economy crashes, right? You know, Russia's got fucking subs off our coast, war. Like, let's say fucking real bad stuff happens. They have a home base. They have a security nest to where they can, you know, hunker down kind of scenario. I think, yes, no matter what, if I had land and a house, I leave them that at minimum. Now, but then, so there's like the nuanced part. Let's say I have land and a house and I have money. Fuck no, I do not give them any money. I make them get a job. So I started working when I was like 14, I think. I was like, you start working when you're a kid, even if I put your ass to work. But how do you, them growing up knowing you have money, how do you make them work, especially in like the environment we live in, where, you know, a lot of these kids, they know their parents have money and they automatically are just like, oh, I don't have to do shit, I'm set. Haha.
They don't. Yeah.
How do you do that? That's instilling a sense of like hard work.
Unfortunately, that's part of being a good parent.
Yeah, that's parenting.
That's parenting and being a good parent. Now, nothing's guaranteed. Just because you're a good human and a good parent doesn't mean you're not still going to get a shit kid. There's probably plenty of those situations.
Tons.
So
yes.
The cool part that got me thinking about this was the Scott Galloway.
Oh, the guy.
He got me started thinking about it, and then I just happened to see something that Jackie Chan said recently, and I'm going to butcher it. So at this point, we would go ahead and chop the video and put in the right quote.
Yeah, yeah.
But the quote is basically, "I'm not going to leave my kids with any money because if they're not smart enough to make their own, they're going to waste mine."
I saw that, and I've heard similar quotes from like more than a few successful people.
That's a pretty damn good one. That encompasses more than 98% probably of what we're talking about is exactly that. If your kids are not smart enough to make their own money, and that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing with your kids the entire time, is teaching them that.
Yeah.
Teaching them everything that you own. Now, let's take it to the next level of that thought. That is exactly what Rich Dad, Poor Dad talks about.
Yes.
That is exactly what
his book is about.
all about.
Yeah.
It's about the rich teach the rich how to get rich.
Yep.
Now, here's the funnier part. We didn't really have generational wealth generations ago.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, nowadays, there's lots of generational wealth. A few generations back, there might have been only one or two families, the Vanderbilts, these people, those people, right? But generational wealth is starting to get bigger now. So what's...
No, because generational wealth's been around since, like, the crown, the queen and king,
of course, but what
the
I'm
nobles,
saying,
shit like that.
Of course. Yes. The ideas, and yes, but I'm talking about, there's masses of people now that are being able to hand money down to their
There's more people who have accumulated enough wealth to where they can create generational wealth to be passed down to their heirs.
Yeah.
Now, there's more of them now than there was previously. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea, I guess I kind of lost my train of thought there, but the idea is that you're gonna basically teach them how to do it, not what are you gonna give them, right? So here's the problem. Oh, here's where I wanted to go. Sorry. All right. So here it was. Because there's generational wealth now. When you're the one who builds your money, you teach your kids. Guarantee you taught your kids how to build wealth and the value of the dollar and all of that stuff. When you were given money,
you don't understand any of those concepts.
You don't own it, so you can't even give that knowledge to your grandchildren. So here's my best point: for the betterment of all society. Imagine if, no matter how much wealth you made, you could only give, let's say, 10% to your kids, or 15%, or whatever, or that house that you're talking about.
Can't do that.
No. I'm not saying it should be mandatory.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that imagine how good this would be if this caught on as a thing. And basically the millionaires that went out and played the game, the Monopoly game of life, like me, guys that enjoy the game of it, the money building part of it. We take it all, we get a little bit for the kids and things, but my kids are going to learn how to do this while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So, but that's how you teach it generationally, is forces that next that next person, to teach that next.
But if you're going to teach them,
then they have to then teach the next ones to teach the next ones, because you don't get any of the money from the one before.
Because now we're a couple generations into some of these people where nobody taught them, nobody taught the guy above, nobody taught, and they're like 3 levels of people who have no idea how to do anything, and they're just handed money, and they just...
And societally, it's harming us dramatically.
Yeah.
Because the rich are getting richer, and they don't even know what they're doing to achieve it. And the poor are getting poorer because it's harder to break into it, because the rich get so rich generationally that you can't break into that. So that's happening. That's what Galloway talks about. Is
the wealth gap's getting bigger.
Well, the wealth gap's getting bigger exponentially because of generational wealth being handed down. Because once you have hundreds of millions, it just keeps making hundreds and hundreds more. And all you do is then you have these companies that manage the money. They gobble up all the houses. They gobble up all the stocks. They gobble up everything. And then it's going to be impossible. In one more generation, it is going to be impossible for the lower class to kind of wiggle their way through, because houses aren't going to be able to be
It's almost
purchased.
impossible right now.
This is my point.
But this isn't just because, so this is, what we'd have to get into a whole different subject, because this isn't just because of people passing down generational wealth. This gets into like coming off the gold standard and inflation and, the price of everything increasing exponentially while wages have stayed still.
I agree with you. I'm not trying to solve
there's so many things that go into that. And then
let's stick on to just the benefits of not being able to hand down your money. And I shouldn't say not being able to.
Yeah.
This is a free country. You're allowed to. But imagine if millionaires, that when they get a little older, like these boomers, Galloway talks about this.
Okay,
he talks about how these... Not that old ass. I'm barely Gen X. They call me a millennial.
Technically, I'm a millennial.
You are,
which is awful.
And I'm on.
Because I'm not.
I'm on that 1 year.
Yeah.
I'm on that 1 year gap.
Yeah. Okay, boomer.
They literally talk about. They do talk about the boomers having so much money right now. And
they do.
And
it's the property values that's a lot of that.
All of it. But let's just say wealth in general. And if they were able to take that money and then say to themselves, okay, like, this is all my kid needs. This is plenty of money for my kid to live on and even grow if he never touches it.
And who do you want to give it away to?
Not again.
No. The remainder, who do you want to give it away to?
I would say it could be done in a million different ways, but basically just giving it to the youth that doesn't have that opportunity.
How do you make sure it goes to the youth in the proper ways? Because you would agree with me when I say that the majority of charitable organizations and nonprofits are fucking scam. Most of that money that gets donated, the people on the board and the guys who run that siphon out so much of it, and the people who are supposed to go to end up.
So it has to be run by a true nonprofit. That's the bottom line.
These are such a thing at this point?
Yes, this would hopefully be from other multimillionaires. You get other multimillionaires together that are like, look, I'm retired. I'm done. I've got $100 million in the bank. I'm done.
The people you put in charge of this nonprofit, though, like, inevitably it always ends up being a scam. And someone goes, look at all the money, and they can't help themselves, and they fucking siphon off.
Then you put as many checks and balances in every year that everybody understands who's here and who's still organizing, running this thing, and that this is a hand-me-down type of thing. You're right. Corruption can seep into anything. We can't.
It's already seeped into every facet of our society. Clearly,
and it always will. And it's one of the.
And it always will. Yeah.
It always will. It's one of the main reasons things always need to change.
Yeah.
And so it's been proven. Capitalism left unchecked will become the most corrupt system and be just as bad as communism.
Yeah.
It really will. Every system.
Because it's not capitalism anymore. We're not in capitalism right now. We're in a fucking oligarchy.
Exactly.
100% flat out. If you think we're still in capitalism, you're a moron. Oligarchy, if you don't know what oligarchy is, it's, the power is concentrated here in a small percentage of people who control everything, all the resources, all the power. They make all the decisions, and then the rest of us just get to, live according to how they think we should live. Essentially. And then another topic that's on my list is I want to talk about neo-feudalism, because we're basically in neo-feudalism right now.
Well, and
which is worse, which is an oligarchy kind of feudalism, oligarchy, similar structure.
And it all happened because capitalism was unchecked.
Yes.
But
why is it unchecked? Because we don't drag these motherfuckers in the street and tar and feather them anymore. That's why.
You've been waiting to say that one for a long time, huh?
Yes. Yes. It's true, though.
Tar and feather.
What happened when capitalism originally in this country was checked? Who was it checked by? The people, us. When the politicians got out of hand, they got yanked out of their little fancy offices and they got ass whoopings. Mm-hmm. That stopped.
Yeah.
There's no term limits.
I'll go buy the tar, you buy the feathers.
Oh, fucking A. We won't get into this, all right? You know? There's no term limits. We know they're insider trading. We let them. We all know we're getting raped, and we don't rock the boat. We don't do anything about it.
Can't rape the willing.
We are willingly allowing them to fuck us. And what do you do? In reality, you're not going to vote these people out at this point.
The only thing you can do is educate people. Podcasts like this.
Yes, no.
Educate people.
Spread information.
It's starting.
Yeah.
It's starting.
Make people think. Learn how to think for yourself again. Stop believing what you're told. Use your brain. Please. That's my point of this entire thing. I don't know if we're going to broadcast this ever. That's my goal within this entire thing. I don't want you to agree with me. I don't have to be right. I don't know everything. I'm not, this great compendium of knowledge. Just fucking, even if you hate what I say, cool, hate it, but think about it. Think about it.
You know a lot more than the rest of us whiteys do. I've been here longer. You better have your shit together.
I do not have my shit together. Not at all. I mean, I do, but I don't, right? None of us have. Who has their shit together, right? No one's perfect.
You're never supposed to be perfect.
That's right.
You're always supposed to be getting better.
Yeah.
You should always be learning more and getting better.
Sometimes I get worse before I get better.
I think we need to go back to...
let's go back to the topic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my short version would be, let's say I end up successful. And I have a house and land to give to pass down if I have kids, and I have some money to pass down. How do I set it up so that they don't end up like so many of the shit bags that we grew up with, right? How do I make it so my kids just not some spoiled shit bag?
You want to know how you guarantee it?
Yes.
You don't give it to them.
But I'm not gonna.
Let me give you another analogy.
You know that I have zero trust or faith in any government organization or any like general organization that I would give I don't trust any organization enough to give my money away to that I would.
So here would be the bottom line.
What's right with it.
So let's not go down that road again, because I think that gets solved only by it's going to the organization that you're a part of.
Well, you're assuming you're dead. You're assuming
no. You've set this up way before. You're affiliated with, let's say, 10 other guys. You all agree on the same thing. You all understand how corrupt can't get into this system. It can't do this. It can't do that. This is why we're setting it up. We're trying to take this wealth, which we had a great time earning, and our children and our wives have had a great time in life doing this stuff, but they don't need. Trust me, my kids shouldn't need my money.
There's lots of organizations like this already that give away scholarships and this and that.
You should be in with that one. If you're about to give $10 million to that,
you know who one of the biggest ones is? The evil ass Rockefeller Foundation, bro.
Oh God, yeah, McClinton Foundation and everything.
But that's the example. There's a million of these, and what are they? They're just like tax shelters, and they're organizations set up by the super wealthy and elite, and it's exactly what I was saying. They're corrupt as shit, and the money it's a way to like hide from taxes. Does the money really go where you think it's going to go? What's really going on behind the scenes? I don't know.
Of course it does. All right, so let's not get into that again. That's kind of secondary to the whole premise, to the whole idea. The idea is just
to the very strict. How do you?
The idea is to just not give the money to your kids. And here's the reason why, and here's another analogy why. So I've heard this a lot, like when you're starting a new business, the only way you know for sure that your business is going to be successful, that you will weather the storm and it will be successful, is you burn the boats.
Burn the what?
Burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
Have you ever heard of that term? You burn the fucking boats.
Destroy the business once you're done with it?
No. So it's a term meaning like when you're going to the new land.
Oh,
and you're gonna make it work.
When you get there, you burn the boats.
Burn the boats.
So tell me how's that what's the application of that to your business?
It's the same thing with money. You want to guarantee your kids are going to figure it out or die trying?
I just don't think I could do it. And maybe it's because I come from a scarcity mindset. Maybe it's because I grew up broke. If I accumulated money, I don't think I could not give my kids this stuff.
But you're going to give your kids all the knowledge and education. And
I know.
Here's the other part. You're thinking of this like your kid is 5. Start thinking of this.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking of this like my kid is an adult. I'm thinking of this as I'm thinking of this as I'm dead. I'm old and I'm about to die.
Your kid's already 45 years old, 50 years old, 55. If your kid hasn't figured it out by now, this is also why Shaq. I
don't mean adult. That's right. I forgot.
Shaq's doing the same thing,
bro. Shaq literally. I saw an interview with Shaq, and he's like, "I don't give my kids shit. I ain't giving them shit. They don't get no money."
No.
He's like, "I make them work." But I think that's what I would do if I had money. Kids are fed and they have a roof over their head. You're getting a job as soon as you can work. I'm making you work, and if you don't want to work, then you're definitely not getting shit. I think that's how I would do it. You're gonna work. You're gonna do this. You're gonna learn what a hard day's work is with your hands. You're gonna learn what backbreaking labor is. You're gonna learn how to be a responsible adult. You're gonna learn how to be a contributing member of society.
Chores at age 5.
Everything.
You got chores at age 5.
Yeah.
It means clean up your room, put your toys away, whatever it may be. Chores.
The only way you get money or any kind of allowance is through some form of work.
Extra.
Of work. Labor. The value of that's how you teach them the value of labor.
Well, so the point just being is that by the time you're ready to pass away and you've got a couple $1 million, the point is your kids have already hopefully have all this. Knowledge. They've already started owning their own properties.
Yeah.
They've already started their own businesses.
Yes, hopefully.
So, and another reason why, I think at the same time I was thinking about this, it doesn't quite parallel to not leaving your kids money, but it does a little bit, I guess. You take away from what they can actually achieve.
By not leaving them money or by leaving them money?
So I've started realizing, I've started wishing that I had somebody that helped me through a lot of my business ideas as I had them.
Of course.
And I had no money. No one had money. No one to give me any money.
Yes.
And the more I start to actually get, achieve and really obtain wealth now, I'm looking at it going, I'm kind of stoked that I didn't, because I've done this myself. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, but okay, so let's say your buddy who stopped by the other day on the boardwalk and you were talking about Juan or Jose or whatever his name was. When he has great ideas, he has a rich family member who goes, sounds like a good idea. Bam, here you go. Here's your investment. And that allows you to become successful much faster.
Absolutely.
You still have to build the business. You still have to put in the sweat equity. But I know building several businesses from scratch, failing lots of times, would it be way easier if one of my really good ideas that did end up working out, someone goes, that's a great idea, here's $250,000. Would have been so much fucking easier.
Do you want life to be easier?
It still wouldn't have been easy. I still would have had to grind. That money, it's not money that they're like, here's this money.
Not as hard.
Not as hard, but you could be more successful. You could do more.
You would just have more money. At the end of the day, when you die, instead of 10 million, or you'd have 100 million, or instead of 1 million, you'd have 10 million.
Well,
that's all you'd have.
I don't even have 1 million, bro.
But my point is this: when you die, when you're on your deathbed, and you do have your $1 million, you've made it from scratch.
Is that more valuable to you? Do you feel like you earned that more if you earned that 1 million from scratch versus you earned 10 million with someone who gave you 1 million to start? Do you feel? Is that like a pride thing? Is that an internal I'm a man, I pulled up my bootstraps and I did it type shit?
Whether it is or it isn't, it's not arguable, and every single rich person knows it, and they've said it. The first million's the hardest.
People who come from nothing and have built successful empires are usually more down-to-earth, good human beings than people who were handed shit in their life. Those are usually the shitbags.
There's another good reason.
That is unequivocally true across almost everyone I've met. Not to say that all people who come from generational wealth are bad or evil people, and this whole the rich or evil thing is no, that's not a real thing, dude. Not all people who have money are out to keep the poor down and this and that. There is a segment of society that is definitely trying to keep everyone else down and keep them from rising up to their levels. I mean, that is inherently business, right? You're in one giant field of competition. Like in manhood, you're in one giant field of competition. Like, we won't get into separate things, but like, it's true, bro. When you build something, when you take a concept that started as an idea in your head with $0 and turn it into something that generates enough money to where you can live a comfortable life, that's something to be incredibly proud of. It really is. 100%. I agree. But I don't know that I'm more proud. Maybe this just does make it easier. I don't know that I'm more proud of 0 to 1 million with no help than I am of like 1 million to 10 million if I had help. This one's harder. Are you more proud of this one than this one? I don't know. Yeah, I think so, because I'm the one that's going to try to go from 0.
Well, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, you'll never know until you're old. And number three, you have to be honest with yourself when you are old. That's it. So we'll never know. Everybody's different. But I can just tell you, it's as much as looking back only now, halfway through what I've learned in life, is like I thought I wanted, help for all my ideas early, and now I'm starting to really appreciate how long it took and how fucking hard it's been.
Yeah.
And going, the most help I got was like, I think my dad got me a minivan, like when I was like started my business.
Starting out way back in the day.
It was like $2,000 for a minivan to run the landscaping company.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they had, and they helped, and that's a great help, and that's more than maybe the next person, and
that's
maybe now I'm just sitting here just being a hypocrite, right?
Are you though? Because there's a big difference between
someone helping with their first
someone buying
their first apartment building.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a great example.
You flip your first apartment building, then you borrow against it, then you go do it again and again, and that's not very difficult.
Yeah, it's a big.
You didn't
big
really
difference.
have to learn anything along the way.
But you would think that you'd have to teach if you were like a real estate guy and you gave your kid an apartment building, you got to teach them at least the basics of the ropes so they know. You can't be a complete moron and because you know what? Yeah, you can, because there's a lot of people who are given things like that and completely mismanage it and fuck it up and destroy their generational wealth.
Easy come, easy go.
Fuck everything up.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
If it comes easy, it's gonna go easy. There's no doubt about that.
That's true.
And that's just back to again. And this is. Again, if you were raising, so let's talk about that generational wealth thing. If you're the first one generationally to do it, and then you teach your kids how to do it, and they don't get any money for it, and then they continue that legacy along, and you don't get to pass things through. Maybe other than a house, I kind of like that idea of the house and the land, like one piece of thing that's just kind of,
home base. Home base.
You can always
roof over your fucking head.
You can always come back to this plot of land in the middle of Colorado,
no matter what, wherever it is.
Yeah, if you're part of this lineage, I could just see how I have a quick thought that goes all the way just straight, 6, 7, 8 generations down. Just imagine how watered down that education gets.
Which education?
The education, let's say
financial, how to create things,
to create
build
wealth,
things.
to work hard, to create wealth. It only takes the third or fourth generation
to fuck it up.
Lazy fuck.
It only takes one generation to fuck it up.
To fuck it up and not give it to the next generation.
Yeah.
Whether that's money or intelligence.
Yeah, work ethic, intelligence, money, financial literacy. But no one teaches us financial literacy.
The rich do.
The rich do. Why? Because they either teach it to their children or they can afford private schools that teach financial literacy.
Probably.
Public schools, there is not a public school in the entirety of the United States that teaches financial literacy.
Are you plugging my manual right now for me?
First of all, that's a concept that is not even out yet. But yeah, plug. You don't even have a name for it. How do I plug it?
Everything you need to know that high school never taught you.
There you go. I like
something along those lines.
I like that. Manual.
It's a manual.
So
I don't want an overwritten fucking book.
I do want to get off topic for a minute. The Cubs to Bears book.
I want to get in the ocean because I'm fucking sweating.
Hot. I'm down to go surf.
I'm sweating.
What about real quick, the Cubs to Bears, what's his name? Cubs to Bears books? Mm-hmm. That's exactly like your concept, the manual. He's doing that, but on if I have kids, that's like the first purchase. They're getting every single one of those books, and I'm going to give you $1 for each page you read, type shit or whatever. Yeah. Like you want your allowance, you finish that book.
Yep.
And give me homework on it.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah. 100%.
All right.